Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mondays at Microsoft, where we break down the next 2 weeks across the Microsoft world for you. We have a special focus on modern work, AI, and Power Platform. And I'm Karuana Gatimu. I'm the lead of the Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group, and I am joined by my dear friend, Heather Cook. Heather?
Hello and good morning, everybody. I love our new intro. I was like rocking out. Doo 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 doo
So
doo
cool.
did it. And I should also add in there that I work on the customer advocacy team as well for M365. Super excited to be here. And I have another song to sing really quickly. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Caruana. Everybody, happy birthday to you. And
Thank
then
you, Heather. Thank you. Nothing like being on air on your birthday morning. I think this is awesome.
there you go.
I'll take the rest
Yay.
of the day off after the
Yes,
show.
yes. Marvelous. So happy birthday. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, if
Well,
you're watching on LinkedIn, welcome. You get your links as we discuss the topics. On YouTube, we put them in the description after the show. And welcome to new viewers from Facebook. Hello, hello, including my family.
yeah, I
Want to
know.
say good morning to all of you. We want to be where you are. And so we're continuing to extend our streaming locations.
Super exciting. Remember, this was an experiment, y'all, last summer, and we keep adding to it. So we're playing with the technology, which is super fun. So yeah, more streaming places added daily, it seems. So
Yes, exactly, exactly. Maybe not daily, but you know what I
okay, all right, yeah, monthly-ish. So yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Well, we
Awesome.
have our Microsoft Big Rock that we want to cover today, and this is a very important one because a new consortium of healthcare leaders announced the formation of the Trustworthy and Responsible AI Network, TRAIN, and to make sure that the AI is safe and fair and AI is accessible to every healthcare organization. This is really important, right? I mean, technology needs to be democratized so that it lifts all boats. And the members of this network include Advent Health, Advocate Health, Boston Children's Hospital, Cleveland Clinic, Duke, John Hopkins Medicine, Mass General. I mean, there's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to see this happening across organizations because, as we know, the data standards and the healthcare capabilities in electronic medical records are not the same everywhere you go. And so, if this train alliance can push that forward and also establish standards for AI in healthcare, of course, built on the responsible AI standards that already exist, that would be fantastic. And this network is collaborating with OCHIN, which serves a national network of community health organizations with solutions and expertise and clinical insights. And they tailor technology and TrueBridge as well. And they're a partner and conduit to community
Yeah.
healthcare. That way, it will help ensure that every organization, regardless of resources, has access to the trained benefits. So we're going to have the news article for you. Stay up to date, especially if you're in healthcare in any way. And remember, from a career perspective, your industry experience is invaluable. And if you pair that with a specific technology experience, then woo, booyah, there goes your career right on up with the rest of this stuff that's going on. Really exciting stuff to be able to report this morning.
Yeah, a lot of things came out of the HIMSS show, which is the big healthcare show. So this is one of the articles and announcements that came out of that. So if you're looking for other items in and around healthcare, just type HIMSS in and you can go check out a lot of the announcements that were made there this last week as well. So cool stuff. Also, in sort of talking about health and healthcare as well, we had a really cool article coming out as part of Women's History Month. Katie Jo Wright was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and back in dealing with her illness in 2015, she launched Gaming for Everyone, which is this big kind of prominent effort around gaming for everyone. It's kind of like what it says, but also sustainability and also helping with Microsoft's commitments to Xbox making more inclusive and accessible, welcoming gaming. And so she had this huge momentum around that in dealing with this disease. And she worked really hard to really shape inclusive work culture and building offerings that were really breaking down barriers. She was a big piece of the Xbox adaptive controller that came out, and a lot of the inclusivity features in Gears 5. So, she's like one of those stories of like how to balance when you have something like Lyme's disease, and then the other sometimes things that come out of that particular one. So she's just got such a cool story that came out of Ability Summit. So that's Microsoft's accessibility show that we had about a week ago, and all of that content is available pretty much online for on-demand viewing. So Katie's story came out of that, and then there's a wonderful set of content there. And if you haven't taken a chance to check out the Ability Summit, it's kind of what's new, what's happening in all of these wonderful areas of neurodiversity and accessibility for Microsoft and our partners. So you can register on demand to get those sessions and also learn more about Katie Jo's story. It's very cool. So, yeah.
And I find these accessibility topics every year at the accessibility show, they do a little bit of an orientation for folks who might be new and to the topic. And I think it's so important. I don't think I ever really understood the power of some of the accessibility capabilities we have across Microsoft 365 until, of course, it affected my family and I when my mom lost her sight. And then I begin to understand screen readers and the importance of the tab order and the solutions that you do and things like that. Every solution that we put out has to go through accessibility review, whether it's adoption at Microsoft.com or Microsoft Teams. And, it's really important. And we also learn a lot about, the experience that people are having. And so I love that summit. It's fun. I got to produce it one year. They do great work. So yeah, I love that it's available on demand. That's fantastic.
Very cool. Yeah.
Now,
In case you missed it.
I know, right? You and I
Yeah.
were very busy last week. Last week was the MVP Summit in Redmond. We got to be on campus with 2,000 MVPs, most valuable professionals, to talk about all the new technology. All these folks are under NDA as you become an MVP. That's one of the benefits. And so they got to meet with all the product groups and hear about what's coming next so they can be prepared as we release new features and do our announcements. And I love the MVP community. They always represent customers so well. They bring us such great feedback.
Yeah.
I got a chance to lead the first ever co-pilot track at MVP Summit. So that was definitely a pleasure. And just to hear what people were talking about in knowledge management, in Teams Premium, calling, all of these great areas. And so it was just very, very fun. Plus, getting to be in person for a moment is also lovely. We've done many of these virtually, and this was actually a hybrid show. And it went so smoothly, and that is years of work on the part of my team and the production team that does the show. Our team supports it to make that hybrid event at scale work really well. So a lot of lessons learned from that in terms of over the years, how we've improved the virtual event playbook and other things. So it was a great show. Heather, how did you were there? It was great to see you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know. It was the first time we've seen each other since kind of forever. So yeah, it was wonderful. It's old home weeks, think about the pandemic and everybody obviously stopped, traveling and all of that stuff. And so there's just people that you get on a circuit, with traveling and speaking and all of that. And so I think for a lot of people, it was their first big conference out still, you think about it, people getting out of town and stuff and, making the journey, making the effort to go. And it was a blast. It was really fun. And we did all of our track for M365, and a big shout out to Lori Popmeyer, who runs our track, and Kara Burgess, who runs the team's track on our team. They're just amazing. Did such a great job. And, Renee Epperly, who runs the whole show with the rest of the James and the rest of the team, and Fernanda, it's great. People put in so much energy and effort, and, events are, as we all know, it's not just picking napkins, there's a lot of work that goes into these things. So it was really cool. And we got to, our global community initiative board members, regional leaders. There's a lot of them that are also MVPs. So there's a place on the campus called the Treehouse that literally is a treehouse. That's really cool. Although it has no heaters, note to self.
It's cold, girl. That was cold. Yeah.
freezing. And yeah, so it was a little chilly, but it was beautiful because it was one of those crisp, kind of beautiful spring days in the Pacific Northwest. It's just lovely. And so it was really fun. Yeah, it was just a great week and great to see everybody. And campus is cool too, because a lot of the new buildings are finally open on Microsoft campus. And so everybody was like zipping around, like there's new Microsoft signs and new this and new that, and these cool things that lots of people haven't seen. So it was a
Yeah.
great weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, the product deep dives, the feedback, making sure that they're skilled up. If you're on the path to becoming an MVP, this is one of the main benefits that you will get is being invited to this show. And so, there's a lot of ways to become an MVP. I am a big proponent of folks taking that path.
Yep.
It's very useful for your career, even if you're inside of a customer organization. That gives you a lot of flexibility. So check that out. And there is, Heather, you have a tidbit in here about the monthly
Yeah.
check-in.
Yeah, I literally found that yesterday when I was looking at stuff for the script. Yeah, I think, did we hug like 500 people? I think I hugged 500 people like over that week too, by the way, which was super fun. But anyway, tidbit. So in looking at there's this Microsoft news site that's like the source, and so this little tidbit, it's called the monthly Tech In. And it's bite-sized updates on innovation and global tech from Microsoft, from us. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, this is super cool. So I put the link to subscribe. And so it's a LinkedIn newsletter, just like the ones we put out for Power Platform and different ones. But it's a newsletter in LinkedIn. So check that out. It's got little cute blurbs about stuff going on. I really liked it. And so it's
Yeah.
things that aren't typical, it's things that I was like, oh, what? So yeah, definitely check that out. It's very cool. Little use cases and things going on in universities and different things.
Oh,
It's
that's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
We'll include that info, smatterings of that info in our show as well. We
Yeah.
always love to find new sources of news information
Yeah.
that we can bring to you. So let's talk about product. Wow, there's lots of things going on, but I'm not going to talk about Copilot today, as a matter of fact. Amazing. I'm going to talk about one of my other great loves of the modern work world, which is task management. The new planner was announced at Ignite, and this convergence of project on the web, planner, tasks and teams, and to do that has been coming from an engineering perspective for a very long time. It is now in public preview as of March 11th. We are so excited about this. And folks, this is really something that is going to be important because the task management story at Microsoft and modern work has been a bit askew. I've been explaining it at Airlift and MVP Summit for, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, 8 years now. And it's always been a little bit of a challenge. Well, that challenge is passing because of the work the engineering team is now doing. You can still go back and see the segment where they announced their vision for the future. About what they're going to do. And it's a simple, collaborative, flexible work management method that works inside of Teams, that carries through to the mobile application, that brings together all of these popular, much used features. But the ultimate goal is having that one task management store behind the scenes. Right now, there are still 3 that they're addressable by graph, but more along that from an engineering perspective is coming. And I know that solution developers and ISVs who use our task management system for other solutions will be happy to hear that. And so I'm a big To-Do fan. Of course, it was Wunderlist before we acquired it, called it To-Do, merged a bunch of features there. I love Project. And of course, the standalone server application project proper is still going to exist. And so, but this gives us a good, better, best. And this gives more unification to what is really the most common scenarios in Planner, in To-Do, and inside of Teams. One thing for sure is when you can get people to use Planner inside of a Microsoft Teams channel, you have much better engagement and clarity around your project management. We've heard about that time and time again from our customers. So you can check out the blog. And what's really exciting is I get to host our first Meet the Makers event that is going to be on April 3rd with the engineering leaders of Planner. We've got a link for that as well, ak.ms new Planner WAC launch. And we'll be able to talk with them about the future and what's coming next. And we really want people to meet these engineering leaders that are building these products. I think it's really important that you know them, understand what they're thinking about, know a little bit about their personalities and history. So that Meet the Makers segment is coming, and we'll be bringing more of those live on the tech community and streaming here and on demand as well. So go check out the blog post, register for that event, share that event with your friends. April 3rd, and we'll do a follow-up on April 4th with an AMA. So if you have questions, say
Awesome.
go test it now, run the new planner now that it's available in public preview, watch the event, and then bring your questions to our AMA in the tech community. And then you will be all ready to become a new planner expert in your
Oh my
organizations.
gosh. I'm so excited about this. I don't know what to do with myself. I love it. And you know who I've known forever is Howard Crow,
Oh,
who is one
yes.
of the leads over there. He's OG SharePoint.
Yes, he
Like
is. Yes, he
back
is.
in the day on Jeff
Still
Teachel's
here,
team.
still doing
Yes.
magic and
Yeah. Yeah.
project for sure.
Totally. So shout out to Howard, who is an awesome, awesome dude. Let's see, what do we got going on? Oh, and Power Apps. We've got some really cool stuff. A couple of new announcements came out on the Power Apps blog this last 2 weeks. We have the Power Accelerator program, which is brand new, and that has a lot to do with the CAT, the Power Cat team, which is the customer advisory team, and a team that I was on that's run by Sarah Pant, who is one of the best managers at Microsoft and my life. Fair enough, for sure. That's true. But the program provides funding and tailored best practices in a box for new enterprise Power Platform customers. So you get access to a bunch of expert implementation, success strategy, tailored programs and tools for your implementation, and funding to help you quickly, yes, and effectively transform and modernize. So the way to get connected into that, you can check out the blog post, but you have to talk to your account manager to learn if you're eligible for it. So there's no link or anything in the blog. You have to talk to your account manager for this one. But definitely brand new program that just came out that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be very interested in, with all of the great perks that are in that blog article. Also, Tasha Scott, who is a great PM on the Power Apps team, she wrote a blog about inline actions. And so this is introducing inline actions for Power Apps Canvas apps. So it's a new way to perform kind of the most common authoring tasks inline on the canvas. And previously you had to change, like if you're going to do a layout screen change or connect a form, you had to know where to make the updates from the command bar and all that kind of stuff. So again, this is bringing more ease into the experience. And also then you can do even more with the power of Copilot as well, but this is something that is indirect in the product. Goodness. Yeah, I know. I had to say it once, right? Maybe I'll take a sip of my coffee here.
Well, I did sort of tell a slight mistruth. I'm not talking about Copilot in Microsoft 365, but I am going to make sure everybody knows about the announcement of Microsoft Copilot for Security. It is now generally available, and folks, this is one you definitely don't want to miss. It will be generally available on April 1st, 2024. It's in preview right now. You can read about this, but this is the industry's first generative AI solution that'll help security and IT professionals catch what other people miss, right? They'll be able to move faster and strengthen their expertise because of the threat intelligence that is built into the Security Copilot. Including the more than 78 trillion security signals that Microsoft processes, on our own properties. And so you can protect and identify threats. You'll be able to respond to them more quickly. I think this is an area that, while we've been talking about the user experience for Copilot for M365 with Microsoft 365, which I completely, appreciate, I actually think that this area and in the application development area are such powerful places to put AI to work on behalf of folks. And so, of course, we have a blog post about that. You can read about that. Share that with your IT teams. Share that with the security folks in your organizations, that they understand the capabilities that are available to them. And of course, there's licensing involved and what have you. Obviously, there would be. But there's some of those capabilities, of course, that we're building right into the admin center, and then more advanced capabilities that come with the additional licensing. So I think it's important that we think about how to use AI in this way. And you'll see it flow through into incident management and other capabilities and workloads, over time, for sure.
Yeah. No, that's a super cool
Yes, yes. Shout out
Very
to those
exciting.
PMs who've been working on that so hard.
Mhm.
There's all of us working on this user experience portion, and then there's folks that are deep behind the scenes doing this kind of work, and they don't always get to come out, and say hello.
Yeah.
Excited to have some of them at the Microsoft 365 conference. So if you want to meet those makers,
Mm.
the Microsoft 365 conference is going to be the place to be. We're in countdown to that show right now. I think it's 45 days to the show, something
Mhm.
like that. If you haven't grabbed your ticket, you should. You can use our discount code MSCMTY to make sure that you get your $100 off. And we definitely want you to be at that show. We have more than 80 sessions there on so many different topics, Viva and the new planner and SharePoint and Teams, and of course, Copilot. It's the place to learn about that. And I'm just so excited about that show. I can hardly stand it. And I think I talked about it out of order, Heather. Just because I was on a roll there. So I just went.
Whatever. It's all good. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah. And in the event, jumping into events, there's so many things going on. And, as a reminder for all of you, when we pluck out stories, right, for the product segments and different things. And so like pretty much though, any of the blogs, it's, by product for the most part, it's like powerapps.microsoft.com when you're looking for those things. So, it's like Fabric's always got a ton of stuff happening. We've got blogs from all the Power Platform, from the security folks, from everything. So I bookmark those and sort of look at them. We look at them sort of Sunday night to see what's going on, what's new and what's fresh and stuff. So definitely, if you haven't dipped into the blogs, there's always lots of really cool information about what's going on. So it's kind of fun. But one of the things that was just announced for sure was Microsoft Build. That's going to be in Seattle and online May 21st through the 23rd. So that's going to continue a lot of this just great information that we've been seeing, all the announcements around co-pilots and all those things. Like, so we're definitely going to have, there's going to be big announcements at Build, and then just deeper announcements of like getting into the nitty gritty on the developer side of all of this stuff. So that show's coming up and it's going to be great. And then the AI tour that has been happening all over the world is continuing. And so I think Berlin is today. And then it just keeps going from there. So there's this, wonderful tour. Our friend and colleague, Donna Sakar, who we saw at the MVP Summit, she's on that tour running around with lots of people doing great things. And Seth Juarez is out on I think he's in Berlin too this week. So a lot of folks running around talking about AI, responsible AI, generative AI, and Copilot. So very cool on that level. And then, our community days. Oh, go ahead.
Heather, can I just say one thing about the AI tour? Let's
Yeah.
scope that a little bit. Just I want folks to know
Oh,
the current version of the AI tour has some business decision maker stuff in it, but it's really targeted. The happiest people who attend will be developers, and that's
yeah.
why this year it's good to talk about the AI tour in alignment with
Yeah.
Microsoft
The
Build.
developers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they now
Yeah.
next year that tour may be different, but for right now, that was really how that tour was created. So, and they also including low code scenarios as well. If you want to build your own GPT, in your own
Mm-hmm.
environment. Of course, now at Build, we're going to announce more of those capabilities for the build your own segments. But Microsoft 365 conference is definitely the place to be if you can only pick one. Well, you get all three of those things wrapped together. We have a
Yeah.
developer track, including low code. We have IT Pro, manageability, even stuff about Exchange manageability and Windows 365, as well as the user experience and transform track that's specifically for folks who are looking to change their own employee experience. That's not just about Microsoft Viva. That's about real folks who are doing transformation work inside their organizations, a true business leaders track. And so M365 conference wraps them all together. Build and the AI tour have their specific targets. So there's no shortage of learning. And of course, we have all of our community days that are happening all around the world that Heather, you're going to go into. But I just wanted
Yeah.
to segment that right now because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want folks who are IT pros to go to the AI tour and be disappointed because there's not that much content
Yeah.
for them in it right now.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely on point. Yeah, I mean, definitely the Copilot Studio, building Copilots and checking out all that stuff. That's the focus of these for sure right now. And we just had that conversation talking about audience, and so that's super important to set that stage. So, yeah. So yes, communitydays.org. There's so many things going on. It's just so amazing. Every day every week we're just like, and there's whoops, that was exciting. I just have one of where I hold my phone holder. Yeah, there's actually one Miami Community Days Miami that just happened in February. They already set their date for next year, so we have a 2025 event in the list
Oh, that's
already. So I was
fantastic.
like, that is lit. So Emily and like that was like right on. That's super fun. But let's see, the last couple weeks we had Dynamics User Group Pacific Northwest Regional Meetup in Redmond, that happened right after MVP Summit. The Canadian Power Platform Summit, that was awesome. I saw lots of pictures and that was terrific. So thank you, Eric, and everybody who did that show. The Modern Workplace Conference Paris is actually today and tomorrow coming up. There's a bunch of stuff in, let's see, Community Days Lausanne, East Brunswick, New Jersey. There's Warsaw, Poland, Collab Days. Had some great talks with the folks who run the Collab Days show. So all the Collab Days, it's another group of folks who are putting on events under an umbrella. We're pulling all of those events into communitydays.org. So again, we're one-stop shopping all of the stuff that's going on. And so I had a great chat with them, which was awesome.
And folks, they even
Yeah.
do things. Collab Days does some amazing locations, and so do our friends at AMS who are like that as well. And I see one that's in Tahiti in April. Why am I not speaking at that one?
No, it's time
That
for
was
a
my
board
life.
meeting. Yeah. For sure. So yeah, a ton going on in coming up in April. There's like, I don't know, at least 15 or 16 events going on all over the world in different places in April. Color Cloud is a newer show, April 17th through the 19th in Hamburg, Germany. Great event. So lots of good stuff. We've got, and coming up, FabCon, Fabric Community Conference is coming up in 2 weeks, March 26th. So they're in the grand push to get that ready to go. Very excited about that. North American Cloud and Collaboration Summit, which is in Irvine in Texas, which is about the same time as the big eclipse that's going to happen. So, you can get a twofer there maybe if you're going to that show. Obviously, the Microsoft 365 Community Conference coming up in a month at the end of April. Comms V Next, which you're going to April 23rd and 24th in Denver. Dynaway is having theirs in Greenville, South Carolina. And then ESC, European Collaboration Summit in Wiesbaden. There's a bunch of us from our team going. Dynamics Con Live in Denver, Dynamic Minds in Slovenia, and then, getting into June, TechCon and PowerCon in Seattle. European Power Platform Conference. So, lots to choose from and lots of cool regional local stuff going on all over the world, so.
And
Yeah.
I think that's really important. So I know that travel budgets can still be tight for folks. And maybe you can't come to Orlando, for the show there, but there's so much happening around the globe. And of course, this is the focus of our Global Community Initiative to really help regional community come back to pre-COVID levels, frankly, right? COVID really was a devastating factor on local community, and our job in the Community Initiative, which Heather is leading on our behalf, is to breathe life back into it. And there's so many dedicated people out there doing this work. Shout out to every community organizer or potential community organizer around the globe, because it's something that most folks do as volunteer work. Right? They don't get paid for putting on a lot of these community events. They do it because they think it's important. They enjoy it. They see the value. And of course, Heather and I have done that many, many times ourselves. And it's just, I really thank them, as well as the producers of these paid events that are happening. I'm excited to go to Comms V Next. I get to go to Denver. That's going to be wonderful. And if you're into the meeting room experience and, really improving that and understanding the different devices that are available and the telephony side of Microsoft Teams, that is definitely the show for you. A bunch of us there talking about that. I get to talk about AI and the meeting experience and then just hang out with people. There's going to be a fantastic women in tech panel that is going to be there that will get shot there. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. But all of these are great events depending on the flavor of information that you want. And so, oftentimes I'll look at the schedule back when I was outside of Microsoft and say, okay, I want to build these 3 skills. Here are the places I need to go to do that, because essentially it's free training, right? And so, except for the T&E, if you go on your own, hopefully you can have your organization do that. And Heather has some great ideas about sharing a kind of a standardized trip report that folks could use to give a proper trip report back to their organization. My old organization used to let me go as long as I came back and trained others. And so that is also a great
Yep.
deal that you can work with your organization. Send me and I'll come back and teach everyone else, which is good
Yeah.
for you.
Send me and I'll teach everybody else. I will fill out a trip report and I'll bring you back swag. Bye.
Exactly. There you go. Swag is important.
Yeah. So speaking of the template, so that's something that we're in the middle of right now. We had a great board meeting with all of our community folks, and we've been having them, and so this week is our general session. So Tiffany Lee on our team runs that, and so if you would want to sign up for the Global Community Initiative, you all are invited, and all of your teammates, everyone is welcome. We'll put the link in the chat. It's MGCI, Microsoft Global Community Initiative. You sign up. What happens is that we put you in the community, the Microsoft Event Community tenant, and also you get signed up for the newsletter, and then you get access to be sent the meetings. It's great. You can come, we listen. It's about feedback. We present a little bit. We sometimes have a guest speaker. And then we also give you access to these templates and things. And we're going to have a lot of this stuff come out this year, even more templates about events and in and around events, how to produce them, how to be at them, things to give back to your manager, like we were just talking about. So please, please join us. We would love to have you there. And in this community that we're building, for us to have a place to talk to each other and share stuff. So super exciting.
Absolutely. Well, we've spent our half hour with you. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much
goodness, yes.
for joining us. We really appreciate all of you out there on wherever you may be watching. Join us again on April 1st. We're not
No
kidding.
feeling.
We'll be here April 1st for our next show. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Karuana. Happy birthday. Woo, woo, woo. Yay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Yes.